Okay, in this video I'm going to give you a quick start guide to the Nord Stage 3, how to get rocking pretty quick. So turn it on and it should be in program mode. Make sure it's not in live mode. So if you see live mode lit up, take it off and you're in program mode. And there are a lot of banks of sounds. The A bank is the first one, and you can use this program dial to look at all the different stock sounds that were loaded in here from Nord. But go to the beginning, A11, and I've created several sounds that will get you started to cover most of our worship songs. And I'll give you a tour of each one. So the first one is Worship Piano 1, and this is kind of just an all-purpose grand piano sound with a backing pad. And so it sounds like this. And it's not too dark, it's not too bright of a piano. And then the backing pad is attached to this mod wheel. And so you bring that up and down. If it's all the way down, it's all piano. And then as you bring it up, it adds the pad. To the top, it puts a nice edge to it. And above the split, there's no pad, so that you can go freestyle with your right hand above that split without the pad attached to those notes. Okay? That's Worship Piano 1. Then turn the dial once and go to Worship Piano 2. This one, the Nord is equipped with a panel A and a panel B. And just think of it as like keyboard A, and then if you hit B, you've got a whole nother keyboard B, and you can layer and split and mix and match sounds. So for Worship Piano 2, a lot of songs, start with the more mellow sounding piano. And so that's what we have here on panel A. It's the black upright piano. Take the mod wheel down. A nice mellow sound like the beginning of King of Kings. At the beginning of the song. And it also has a backing pad, a nice warm sounding pad attached to the mod wheel. But in the middle of the song, if it gets more energetic and louder, you can hit panel B, and it switches automatically to the Grand Piano Imperial in the bright setting. So, like later on in the song King of Kings, you can make it sound brighter by going to panel B, and then the synth pad that's attached to it also has more frequency sweep to it. So you can go back and forth during the song. You can go back to panel A if the song gets quiet again. So that's very handy, Worship Piano 2. The next one's Worship Piano 3, and this is an all-out bright grand piano on the bright setting. On songs like Freedom or More Than Enough, it's a very bright, punchy piano. And then the synth pad gets really, really bright, and you put a nice edge to it. So for those energetic worship songs where you want to punch through the mix, Worship Piano 3 is really good for that. All right, the next one is Worship Pad, and so it's just got the piano taken out. You use the mod wheel to make it warmer at the bottom and a little bit brighter the higher you go. This is often good for like transitions between songs or to kind of underscore a speaker. Okay, Worship Pad. The next one is Worship Electric Piano with a backing pad. It's a really nice electric piano sound, and the pad is attached to the mod wheel. Bring that up and down. Then we have Worship Strings. Okay. Next is worship saw lead. Okay, that's really good for songs where if you hear in one of the tracks, there's kind of a lead part. You can go to that one. And my personal favorite, the worship B3 organ. What I've done here is I've attached the drawbar settings to the mod wheel. And so with the mod wheel down, it's going to start with a really dark sounding organ with just the first 3 drawbars. And then as you move the mod wheel up, makes it much brighter. It adds all the overtones in. So the more drawbars that are out, the more overtones and brighter. So when the song maybe comes up in energy and you want to cut through the mix a little better, you can bring all the drawbars out like that. You can go back and forth with that. Also be aware that I like to use this drive. Just adds a little distortion to it. And then also the Wurlitzer speaker. Sounds really good. Okay, so those are all the sounds I created. I would just start with those. If you want to check out some of the other stock sounds that Nord put in here, you can. Also, if you want to explore, and I'll have more videos on this later, but in the MBank, I created a program for pretty much every song in our repertoire. So that starts with M14, All Hail King Jesus. And then and it's alphabetical, and there are like 40 of them. And then even later, I've got some of our Christmas Carol arrangements in here. But I would start with these up at the top on the A-Bank. Now, I'm going to teach you how to set them up into live mode. It's a really handy feature. You know, oftentimes we'll have 4 or 5 songs in a worship set, and so you can just line them up in live mode and go from song 1, when you're done playing that, go right to song 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how you do it. Let's say that the first song is a really upbeat, energetic song, and so you want to begin with worship piano 3. So make sure it's in program mode first. So take it off live mode, it's in program mode. And if you want to put worship piano 3 in to live mode as your first song, you're going to hit this red store button here, store, worship piano 3 to live slot 1, and then hit store again. And now live 1 is your worship piano 3. Okay, let's say the second song is something more reflective song, and you want strings. You want worship strings. So you'll take it off live mode and find the worship strings. And to save that to song slot 2, you'll go store, live, 2, hit store again, and now your strings are in live mode, song number 2. Let's say your third song, you want to use organ, so take it off live mode, go to organ, worship B3, and hit store, live, 3, and store again. And now it's on live 3, okay? One more thing that might be handy for you to know in this first video is how to use the transpose button. I always use transpose in the live mode. Oh, another thing about live mode is it'll save any changes you make as you make them. Whereas in program mode, you'd have to actually resave it to save any changes in program mode. But in live mode, any tweaks you make, if you change the volume of the piano here with that volume control, and you leave it, you go to a different live setting, you come back to it, it's still saved with the little tweak that you made. So be aware of that. Any little changes you make in live mode, it'll automatically update as you go. If you need to transpose a song, and I often do this on like the song Yet Not I, But Through Christ in Me, which we often do in the key of B, but the key of B is a little bit hard to play in. I like to play it in key of C. So if you want to play C chord shapes, but you're really in the key of B, what you need to do is do a transpose -1, because you need to move that C note down to B. And this is how you do it. Let's say this is the program that you want. You're just going to do shift, the shift button, and transpose. Oh, I'm sorry, cancel that. You just hit transpose and use this dial here, -1. Okay, transpose light is on, and now, even though I'm playing a C note, it's really in the key of B. Okay, so just be very aware on if you had the transpose button, if you mean it to be on. And again, I think it's more foolproof to use that in live mode and not in program mode, because it'll be specific for a certain song set. And then whoever comes in, you can totally mess with the live mode settings for each week and make that and customize that. It's a good place to do that. Okay, I think that's basically all you need to know. Here's your master volume here. In a later video, I'll teach you how to synthesize from scratch using the organ engine, the piano engine, and the synth engine. But right now, if you can just navigate the different programs, pick the sounds you like, set them up in live mode, set up your set, make sure you find out if the mod wheel is attached to anything. And there's one sound, remember Worship Piano 2 had a panel B to it. So check that out and it should get you started. All right, enjoy.